I'm Joshua Hanlon here on the grounds of the Akershus Fortress in Oslo, Norway. Now, the fortress itself is really amazing, but what I want to talk to you about today is the building that's right behind me, and that's the Norwegian Resistance Movement Museum. So this museum tracks the resistance movement from the very beginning of German occupation during World War II all the way to the end of World War II. And it's really interesting because it shows how the Germans were able to surprise the Norwegians at the very beginning of the war. The Norwegians were not expecting an invasion at all, and the Germans were able to come in a matter of days in most cases. Some places held out for a few weeks, but most places it was over in just a few days. They were able to take over the country in Norway. And from then on, that was about 1940, 1941, and from then on it just was a resistance movement that tried to fight back against the Germans, and it covers all the different operations that they did, a lot of the ways that they, supplies were brought in, airdrops, things like that, to the resistance fighters. It covers some of the different operations they did in terms of blowing up buildings and things like that. One particularly interesting one is the several attacks were made on a heavy water plant here in Norway that was helping the Germans with their atomic bomb project. And you might be familiar with that. There's a great Netflix series that was started on that called the Heavy Water Wars. So that might sound sort of familiar if you've checked that out before. So just different operations like that the Norwegian resistance fighters did what they could from their end here in German-occupied Norway to try to help out the war effort. And then once the D-Day invasion took place in France, even more weapons were sent to the fighters, and they built up a bigger and bigger force as the Germans started to fall apart throughout Europe. So I definitely encourage you to check out this museum here in Oslo. It's really great, and like I mentioned, it's right next to the fortress as well, so definitely check that out while you're here. Thanks for watching.